The stock cylinder 250R ATC air cooler, obviously. Mine's a 1983, but it really wouldn't matter. This one's broke on bottom, that's why it sits like that. Yeah, I just bought it because it's got some pretty nifty port work down in there to let her breathe pretty good. And this is still the stock port job in a Kustom Kraft's Kustom Kraft's 300 kit. This is a head versus a stock head. Yeah, I know these are my spare junk parts I have laying around to do comparisons with because my other engine's already together. But I think this one's already been bored almost as much as it can be. So I think it just sat and someone kept it for the port work. That's a Kenny, can't think of his last name, port job from the 80s. But there's corrosion on this. That's because I never painted it. I was in a hurry to get ready for a race. That's before this happened. Or now this is junk right there. But I thought I'd show some comparisons here. So, and this is a really cheap, crappy one of these. It was zeroed out when I started, and now we're at negatives. Zeroed out again, and it probably won't. Yeah, now we're already moving. So yeah, it's going to be all pretty rough numbers here for that. And let's see if we can do this one-handed. The Kustom Krafts measures out to 76. I'll make sure I'm not sitting on anything. Yeah, about 76 millimeters. When your stock Honda, stock-ish Honda 250R air cooler would sit at is at 73, so it's 3 millimeters bigger already. You can't tell those well because I have the gasket on now, but we looked at these before. You could see that this is much thicker here, and it's cut a lot closer to the head studs, as where this one is not. I would say that it cuts into about, I can't really point very well. If I can get this thing opened. To about right there, probably about where the outside of the cylinder sits. There-ish, or about where the tip of that's at. So it's quite a bit bigger. You can see the difference in your stock head versus your 300 head. The main way I look at it is you can see the large difference in space between the bolt holes there and here. That one is much larger. He's cleaned this out a lot more, and then it's a little bit deeper as well in my eyes. I did run this thing in a race, obviously, and I broke the crank, which it was getting to where it needed replaced anyways, but I needed to run. So I'm actually going to make a series about splitting the case as well. But to me, this thing ran much higher RPMs, much harder, much faster, all around better. Now, with me saying that, I also did add the V-Force 3 reeds. I also added a 36 millimeter carb, which was over stock, which all my old parts are right there. That was a second bore top end with a stock carb. Everything was stock except I had a DG pipe on. I know everything looks terrible right now. Whatever they put on the track is just rusting everything horribly. But to me, it was a very good deal. I was actually trying to get the 270 kit, but they messed up and jumped me straight to 300, which I wasn't going to say no to. But that's just kind of some of the comparisons of what this is. Do I have a first gen lower? I never noticed the red paint on there. That must be a first gen lower with a different shift shaft, which is weird because down here I have the first gen lower that somebody put the they painted it black like a second gen. Huh. I've never had this lower end out before, so this is just kind of all new to me. I just noticed that. But yeah, that's pretty much the main differences. I know he made the porting slightly bigger, but to still stock sized. So I mean, the port work I could still do a ton on and make this thing a lot better, per se. I still like to get a YZ 250 head on this, the I think 78 is the one that has the same bolt pattern. So drill out the bolt holes, and then you're good to go. If you have any more questions about these, I can try to help. I can't promise much. I ran this thing for two practices and a couple heats, and then it blew up on the main. So I got a little bit of knowledge about it, how to run it and everything. It's all around better power. It's really all I got for this.